Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of the Golden Boots podcast. This is your host, Jorge Gonzalez. Our podcast is all about soccer, all things soccer. We love soccer. For episode 6, we have two former collegiate players here, Andrew Sanchez and Tito Villanueva. Andrew hails from the great nation of Texas, and he played as a goalkeeper at Johnson & Wales.
Yes, sir.
Tito hails from the great nation of Gastonia, North Carolina. And you played as a striker, correct?
Yes.
At Johnson & Wales. Welcome to the show, boys. How are you?
Good, appreciate you. We're doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing amazing, man. We've had a lot of laughs before we started this, so this is going to be a very good episode.
Yeah, man's adjusting, getting ready for it. Okay.
Nice. So one of the things we like to do in this podcast is kind of get different players' perspectives of playing in college and maybe growing up with the sport that I know all of us love here. I mean, I grew up a big soccer fan, and I'm assuming both of you did as well. So kind of give us your backgrounds.
You go first? So I'm actually a military kid. So San Antonio, Texas is what we call home. But I bounced around a lot. So started playing in Arizona. Played for a city team there called the Sidekicks. We had an English coach, Coach Barry. He would not take any crap.
Okay.
We were out there like 7 years old. He would have us doing push-ups and stuff. Disciplined, very disciplined. Then I moved to Texas, San Antonio, Texas, and I started playing there. I actually didn't start playing keeper until 8th grade.
Okay. What made you go into, did they just put you in, or was it?
So our keeper had gotten injured.
Okay.
And then we didn't have a backup because we were, we had Joma as a sponsor. We were like, yeah, you know.
I'm from Honduras, and that's who sponsors us.
Yeah, that's why I said. We were that team. Everybody else had Nike, Adidas.
I was there. Middle school.
And we didn't have a backup keeper, so they were like, who wants to play? I was like, all right, whatever, to help the team, right? So, and actually, I was the second choice, but, you worked at it. I was like, the team needs me. The team needs me. This is my time to shine. And I actually turned out to be pretty decent, you know. I made the Olympic development program for 2012 South Texas, so that was fun. Then in high school, got called up to come play at Johnson & Wales University.
That's awesome. Tito, how about you, man? Tell us about your love affair with soccer.
Oh, man. I'd say that it didn't really start when I was in Chicago because I was maybe 10, 11 years old. But I came to Gastonia, North Carolina, and I went to, I'd say, middle school. I had a bunch of friends, and they were like, yo, try out for the soccer team. And I was like, all right. I mean, I wasn't tall. I wasn't, nothing else really catching my eye. So I tried out, and I just instantly fell in love with, just playing every day. It was just, a love that came out of nowhere. And, I have a passion for, I had a passion at the time for, track, too. But soccer was definitely where it was at. It was just something about the sport that really just kept me pushing and wanted to be, just a better player all around.
Okay.
Yeah, so definitely playing in middle school helped me a lot, and it really pushed me. I would say high school, my freshman year, I made varsity. So I had a lot of I'd call them older brothers still to this day because they're just great role models. And after that, because I came to high school not really focused on really anything but, playing soccer. It was always soccer for me, from, morning to night, till I couldn't see the ball at night. It was always just a thing for me. Played soccer in high school, captained my junior and senior year, tried out for Rock Hills, South Carolina's Discovery team. Made that my sophomore year, not where I wanted to be, but my senior year, I had made the 97 gold team. And from there, it was kind of just one of my greatest accomplishments at the time for soccer. And I didn't think it was just amazing for me. I just kept going up from there.
Okay. What did you do within those 2 years that got you that? Do you remember?
What do you getting on that team?
Yes.
Oh man. So I'd say my sophomore year of high school, I made it went by colors. It was green, black, white, and then it was gold. Everybody was kind
of like Taekwondo.
Yeah,
okay.
why it was no, because it's a way for they couldn't tell kids
You suck.
Like, yeah, they can no, but don't get me wrong. Like, there is talent on all those like levels. It's just really like it's just about opportunity and time and like what they see in that moment. You have an hour with like 100+ other kids to be seen and like shown out. So my sophomore year, I made the white team, which was the middle tier, and I remember I had 2 close friends, and they both made the top tier team, and that just ignited a spark in me. I was just like,
I pulled the winner in you, man.
Yeah, I was really like, man, like I gotta work, like I gotta work hard, like I'm gonna see them up there. And then it came around. I just kept working, and my junior year I took a break from it because I just tried out for like football as the kicker and punter. But my senior year, I put.
Sorry, I see you now, and I see kicker, punter.
At this point, I'd be running back. But no, I just my senior year, I made that team, and it was honestly, I was on that team for about a month. I was on that team for 2 months, and because it was just a lot. Like I'd be at high school practice, so I was playing football at the same time, so I'd be at high school practice high school soccer practice until about 5:00. Then I would go down to the football field 5 to 6, and then 6:00 I'm driving to Rock Hill to go to practice from like 7 to 9. So yeah,
grind,
yeah, it was just like that was like every day, and like I got excuses for like games and stuff. But other than that, it was like a grind every day. I ended up leaving the team because of my left knee was just getting really bad. It was just being overused. And Johnson and Wales actually came from my coach, Dom Wren, who was the greatest coach in the world. I just want to say that. He actually knew Kev Summers at the time, and they knew each other, and he reached out to him, and he was just like, great player, send him your way. And just ended up taking a tour at Johnson and Wales.
That's
for that.
awesome.
Yeah.
So what year did you guys go into Johnson and Wales?
So I started fall of 2015. I was part of the inaugural team, and actually I remember the spring of 2016.
Okay.
Right. So he was graduating high school.
Okay.
And I remember Coach Kev Summers and James Drizwicki coming to us about, hey, this man Isaiah Villanueva, or as Drizwicki would say, Coach. He would be like, yeah, this man Isaiah Villanueva, he was like, he's super fast, and he was the fastest guy you ever see, and he's got a mean right foot, and he would hype up Tito, and
you're like Adam Traore from Wolves. Have you seen that guy?
I've actually got
Bro,
that.
that's you.
I go to Strikers, and that's all I hear now. Like, that's all I like.
Especially when he puts his hair up.
Yeah, that's all I hear now.
That's hilarious.
And if you didn't have the mic on right now, or the headphones, we should have you put your hair up.
Yeah,
totally
definitely. With the
nice.
camera, no.
So tell us about being part of that inaugural team. That's kind of cool. You went into a school, and you were kind of one of the first, kind of like a founding father.
Yeah, I kind of see myself like that, like a George Washington.
You're old.
So, like, and that's actually what sold me, because I knew, you're graduating high school, you want to make a name for, at least I did. I wanted to make a name for myself. I wanted to go do something, be a part of something meaningful. And, Coach James called me up, and he was like, we want you to come play for us. We saw your highlight film. We want you to come play for us. I was like, okay. Do you have any, scholarships or anything? No. Do you have any financial aid you could help me out with? No. But you get to be part of the first team, Johnson Wales Charlotte team.
There you go.
I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
My parents weren't happy with it, but whatever, I made something out of it,
Yeah,
I wanted to, like I said, be a part of something, historic. No one can ever say that, I wasn't part of there.
That's very true, man. Nice. Can you guys tell me about one of the teams that you guys played for, or something that you felt like there was a good culture in it within that Johnson and Wales team, or any team?
I could talk about a lot of teams, but I want to say one that really shaped me into the player I am today. And I kind of laughed when you were talking about like having that military, because I've had a coach that was in the military too. So I played for SGCSA Flames in Gastonia, North Carolina. And Coach Mark Del Castillo, who he still to this day is on my back all the time, but I love him. He is a Panamanian coach that served, so he was just it was all about calisthenics. Like that was all. That's
Okay.
what, like we wouldn't touch a ball for the first hour of practice, and if we lost or like it was just. I remember we had my first year with him, my junior year. We were called the Dirty Dozen because we only had 12 players when we went undefeated. Like
What?
Yes, like he was just
Dirty
always
Dozen.
on my back. Like at the same time of me wanting to just give up the sport because of like how much he was on me, and like I would just go home crying like to my mom like he's. I'm for
Sorry.
real. No, I'm
He's
for real,
keeping
bro.
going.
Because
Yeah,
it was bro.
yeah.
I
I'm like
respect that.
I'm like 17
respect
years
that.
old. I got
Yeah.
this man just on my back pounding. Like I'm just like, yo, like what am I doing wrong? Like he would nitpick everything I would do, and I was just not like, it was just really putting down on me. And then my mom talked to me and was like, she said something to me that like I will never forget. She said, you would feel a totally opposite way if he said nothing to you. You need to appreciate the fact that he's recognizing you
good
for
right there.
everything that you do wrong, because if he didn't care about you, he wouldn't be saying anything.
That's
And-
a Hispanic mom right there.
No, it is. She was like, stop complaining. And I was just like, all right. That's
give you-
basically
She
what
grabs
was
the chancla.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'll give you something to
threw
cry
it
about.
downstairs and hit me in my head upstairs. Like, it was crazy. No, but,
Nice. No, but that's great advice, man.
Yeah.
And he coached that team that went undefeated.
yeah, junior year and senior year. I loved it. I went back, and to this day, like, he was at my graduation party. Like,
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's family. He
Is-
definitely shaped me into the person I am
Isn't that
today.
crazy how someone who like does that to you is it kind of sucks during that time,
Yeah.
but when you look back of it, they pull the winner out of you, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'd be on the field and I would know he's talking about me because he'd call me ugly. Literally. I hope he's in the comments of this video so he can
I'm gonna be looking for
correct
that.
it, because he'd be like ugly, like, or it was ugly, Mohawk, or 92 because I was number 92 at the time.
Okay.
And
92.
that 9 + 2, 11. El Sharari too. Come on, but that's another story. Yeah, but like he was, other than soccer, he'd be talking about school, where I'm attending, and my like how's classes going. Like he just became family. Like yeah,
That's good, man. I like that. Kind of like a soccer father figure.
yeah,
there, right?
definitely.
Cool, man. Talk to us a little bit about like some of the things that you guys felt like you did that were like very mundane, but when you were on the soccer field, you felt the difference. Like I can think back at like when Cristiano Ronaldo was first coming up and he was at Manchester, he would put weights on his ankles and like do jumps or do different workouts, and some of the players laughed at him, right? But then like you see some of his highlight reels, and I can think back to that Real Madrid goal that he scored against Man U in the Champions League, where he got like a foot of the
yeah.
defender,
Yeah.
and then like just a lot of different goals. And I'm like, okay, like stuff like that, like yeah, it kind of sucked, but like it made the difference. Do you remember anything stick out to you guys, like tactically or workout wise?
So as a goalie, and this is for all my goalies out there, if you're watching, work on your footwork. And I don't just necessarily mean like the ball at your feet. I mean without it. Because nothing's going to save you more if you're a goalie. In my opinion, every goalie deep down knows whether or not they're going to make the save. Like there's a split second. You feel it and you're just like, I got this. This is me. But it all comes from what we call the extra step, that last step,
Okay.
that shuffle step. If you don't have it, if your feet are not quick enough, you're not getting there. I don't care how tall you are, how long you are, that extra small step makes the biggest difference. Not only shuffling side to side, but coming out, being aggressive. And you got to, I feel like a lot of keepers, you know, they focus on hands, they focus on core strength, but a lot of that comes from footwork, ladders, side shuffles, things like that.
Okay.
And that, I think that's what takes a lot of keepers from the next level, because also it helps them get set.
Yeah.
You know, how many times do we watch keepers, you know, get chipped? You know, nothing is worse as a keeper than getting chipped.
So bad.
I can't
So
tell you how
bad.
many times he's chipped me because my feet were not ready.
Come on,
You
it
know?
was, you know.
And then, of course, you know, the rest of the team, you
Yeah.
got chipped, you know, and you're carrying that weight with you for the rest of your life. And
Yeah.
it sucks.
We still don't talk about it to this day. We just keep doing
Man.
it.
Do
No,
you
I'm just
remember?
kidding.
Do you remember like having a save? Like like anytime you're on the field and you either score an amazing goal or have an amazing save. Like deep down, like you're like super excited, but you kind of play it cool. Like, do you remember any of
I will say, when we were at practice, Andrew would get some saves. We would just stop. Like, we would just be like, Andrew, this man makes saves. Like, don't, like, I know when you see a tall goalkeeper, because this is my mindset. I used to see, like, 6'4", 6'5" goalkeepers when I was playing, because I played ODP as well. And so, like, playing against, like, Alabama and stuff like that, you see goalkeepers that are up there. And I'm in high school, so I was this height. I didn't get any taller. But I'm just saying, like, you see tall goalkeepers and you're intimidated. They're slow. Like, you put it in the corner, it's over.
Okay.
But with Andrew, like, not only does he get up there, he can move fast. Like, he's blocking stuff and he's fearless. That's one thing I always get Andrew. He is fearless. Like, he doesn't care. He's coming out. Props to Andrew.
You're the Jorge
That's
Campos
the best
of
$20 I ever spent. Thank you, sir.
Hey, no problem. Hey, no problem.
That's funny. How about you, Tito? Do you remember, like, any workouts or anything that helped you on your game, being up top?
Definitely just overall working out.
Okay.
When I came into college, I was always like, it's just speed. Like, you just got to be fast. And, I'd say when I came into college, my soccer IQ wasn't where it should have been. But what my coaches at the time wanted me to do my freshman year, they said gain weight. And I realized that after being trampled on, like, just destroyed, like, speed wasn't going to cut it, especially in college ball. So, I started working out a lot. Like, there wasn't a day I wasn't in the gym. Like, off season was, like, number one priority. Like, I'm hitting the gym and I'm going to train, and maybe some days I'm hitting the gym again, and I'm just eating, like, all the time. Like, I was gaining weight. Like, when I entered college, I was 140 pounds, and my senior season I was 185. And it just came down to, because they wanted me to be that brick wall, that sitting forward. So when I grab the ball, I've got defenders on my back and I'm dishing it out. That was my job.
And like Diego Costa style, or
I looked at it. See, I always wanted to play around, like, Boney Wilfred or, like, Lukaku. Yeah, that was always, like, what I wanted to, like, that. I trying to, like, put my game around them, just because, like,
Lukaku's so strong, man. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, they were just that whole, or Aki Fenwa. That's a
huge,
that's a good.
So he actually does know soccer.
That was come on now. Aki Fenwa, FIFA 2017. You're not losing. Like, you're not losing. He gets the ball, it's done. Like, yeah. But no, definitely just the, like, hold up play is what I was like. It was hard to adapt to, because I was always used to, like, bombing down the sides or getting the ball and just outpacing defenders.
Okay.
But at times, there's a lot of times where your defenders are just as fast. Like, look at Hector Bellerin or, like,
Alphonse Davies.
Defenders are fast. You gotta outsmart and you gotta outplay those against you, and it's always a competition.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Nice. So let's get into a little bit about Charlotte. We're getting our first official team, Charlotte FC. I'm excited about it, and so finally MLS in Charlotte. So I think our sport is growing slowly but surely, right? And there's a lot of heckle on our league just because of, like, it's not to the quality of Europe yet. Hopefully one day it will be. And people have criticized it often over, we don't follow the same calendar that a lot of basically every international soccer league follows the FIFA calendar. I guess it's an American thing. We like to do our own thing. But do you guys think it would be beneficial to change our MLS calendar to follow that international calendar?
Okay, so hang on. I'll be honest. I am a naysayer. I am a criticizer of the MLS. While I do think soccer is growing, I think the MLS is going about it in the wrong way.
Okay,
so think about it. How many teams have popped up in the last, like, 2 years? 4,
like
5?
4 to 8.
I think they're diluting the market. Talent-wise, fan-wise, I say give it some time to grow. These guys like Minnesota, Austin's going to have a team, Charlotte's going to have a team, Cincinnati has a team, Nashville has a team, all in the last, like, 5 years.
Yeah, but you need that. I mean, in England, you have, like, 400 teams from small cities, and then with that, you can create, different leagues.
But think about how long that system has been in place, though.
Yeah.
The MLS has only been around, 20 years?
Yeah.
relax. We're okay.
Okay.
That being said, I do think America has to figure out what they want to do with MLS.
Okay.
You know, because first off, what does MLS stand for?
Major League Soccer.
Austin FC, Cincinnati FC, you know, football club.
Yeah.
Yet you're playing for the Major League Soccer, you know? And then on top of that, you're trying to, you're going by a different calendar than everybody, you know, all the big leagues.
Yeah.
So you're fighting with.
So do you think it would benefit us to follow the same international calendar?
I think it would, but at the same time, you got to understand you would be competing with all the other sports because it would be remind me of the months again.
It would be probably usually it's BC before COVID. It was it was
Right.
August through about May. Some game if Champions League finals sometimes were at the beginning of June. So just say at the end of May.
Well, you also got to think that would be prime football, prime basketball season.
Yeah.
You'd be fighting with not only the Super Bowl, you'd be fighting with the NBA playoffs. You'd be fighting with college football.
Okay.
That's a tough slot to fill, you know?
I can kind of see your point there.
I see it. I would say it would not be beneficial to get on the same level as like the same schedule as international play, just because like I don't know. It's like you can't do like I just feel like MLS. The only reason why MLS is getting such a buzz right now is because we get international players. Like
Yeah.
that's the only reason. Like if Ibra was not here or if Beckham didn't come here, like I don't think we would be where we're at. Like if even Kaká, like I don't feel like
Thierry Henry.
Yeah, I don't feel like the MLS would be here. So will be as big as it is. Them playing on the same, I don't know. I just feel like that would be the wrong move just because there's a set time for it. And it's just, yeah, I would say there's too much, just like Andrew said, just because you got MLS and then you got USL and then you got like League One, League Two, and then it's just a lot. Like it's kind of like you have those lower tiers, but MLS isn't that top tier either.
Yeah.
Really, like I mean, for the US, of course it is, but I don't know. I just don't think that'd be. I think where it's at is where it should be right now, and maybe we'll see a MLS team in the Champions.
International Champions League. Yeah.
Just
I do think American soccer has to find its own identity.
Yes,
They have to do a better job finding their own identity and what
Okay.
works. That's what America was all about. You know, finding our own, making our own pathway,
gotcha.
being pioneers. And I think they need to relax a little bit.
I gotcha. Yeah. I probably have a difference of opinion than you guys. I think we should, and
We should.
yeah, I think we should follow the same calendar because if we're doing something different than what soccer is doing in general, if I'm a top player and the World Cup's coming and I want to play in a World Cup or I want to play in a Copa America or I want to play in a Euro, but then like the MLS, there's games and then like there's international games and then a week later your team is playing but you can't be there, right? Like it just doesn't make sense. I think it needs to be all together and we need to grow. I think we should have a progressive growth, right? Like in Europe, you know what the top 5 leagues are. You got England, you got Spain, you got Italy, you got France, you got Germany, right? Here, you could probably say, if we include South America and North America, you probably have Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, and then probably us, right? I think slowly we can go from 4th to 1, right? Especially because we got money here, right? And then they bring in some of the best talent from South America, some of these top players that are kind of about to end their careers and bring them to the MLS. That's a good mixture. Like, I don't know if they brought Luis Suarez to Charlotte FC, I'd go watch him, right? As a Barca and Liverpool fan, I would love to see him, right? Even if it's not in his prime.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, though, because that's bringing in.
Yeah.
That's importing, And I don't think that's going to be beneficial to American soccer, not only to the national club, but to domestically.
But think about England, the Premier League. You don't think of just English players, right? You think the top talents are there, right? Brazil, Spain, Italy.
But here's the thing, though. You can still look at English players within the English Premier League, and right? Where are all of our top guys playing for the American Soccer League?
They're in Europe.
Right?
Yeah.
They're not domestically bred. And I think by going and still getting in this process of trying to, I think it's great for fans. But I think as a brand, I think it waters down a lot of the American homegrown players.
I gotcha. I think quite the opposite. I think it raises the level, right? Because if you're playing with better players, like just talking to different people in the soccer world, dang, I sound legit right now, but no, just talking with different people in the soccer world, there's this misconception in our soccer that, you know, people don't take it seriously, or when they do, it's because, you know, they played club or they did this. Like in a lot of other countries, they have to fight for it. Here, you kind of just, okay, I'm playing soccer, right? But I think if you come into a team where you've got players that are, I don't know, maybe from Brazil, from Argentina, a lot of all these other countries, and they come and you see that they're not messing around, that's going to elevate you to be a better player, right? And I think the more the league grows, I'm not saying we're going to be England, right? But I'm saying we can say, okay, like if you're going to go to the Americas, MLS should be your number one choice, you know?
Yeah, and I do think that's the overall goal. It's nice that we're all, the end goal is the same.
Yeah.
Because we all would clearly want to see the MLS reach its full potential.
I want to see top talent in their prime here.
And
I want players to maybe not England or Spain, but they're like, should I go to France or the US? I feel like that would be a good like comparison.
Now, I will say number 10 at LAFC right now.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
Carlos Vela?
That's he
owes me a coat.
That's a problem. That's a problem. I hope he stays. I pray he stays.
Yeah.
Because he is like lighting the MLS up. Like he's given the attention that the MLS has well needed and deserved just based off of the fact that he's like here. Like,
to my point exactly. Like they brought him from Europe, you know, and
in his prime.
Yeah, bro. And I think that, like, you can bring more players like that. Yeah. You know, obviously they're going to come for the money, right? Yeah. Some of the contracts that we pay are really well for designated players, right?
Isn't Higuain coming to Miami FC?
Hopefully.
I've heard some rumors about that.
Even with clubs like that, I'm okay with us developing powerhouses, LAFC, Atlanta, Miami, right? Hopefully Charlotte can be in the mix, right? So kind of like, I mean, outside of Liverpool, like, no one really knows what's in Liverpool outside of the teams, to be honest, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
well, we could kind of be like that for Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
Yo, Charlotte has a great soccer team. What else do they have? I don't know, Cookout.
I hate Cookout.
He totally dismissed the Panthers and the Hornets.
Exactly, right? Like, wow.
Yo, this show is becoming like Cookout better sponsor us one day.
Yo, the watermelon milkshakes. They just finished, so good.
I haven't eaten Cookout since my last 2 a.m. college study. Like, I don't eat.
And that's why you look like that, and I look like this.
God.
Nice, man. All right. Another topic I wanted to touch on that is so big right now in the soccer world, that's got me kind of, you know, a little bit depressed when it comes to soccer, because I'm a huge Barcelona fan. My man over here knows what I'm talking about as a Man City fan.
Yes. Sir.
And Messi, man, it's kind of a toss-up right now. Everyone is saying he's leaving, you know, but the optimistic side of me is saying, yo, he hasn't said anything yet. Hopefully before this episode drops, he doesn't say anything.
He didn't say anything yet. I'm pretty sure
I think everybody around him said something.
Except him, right?
He didn't show up to training.
Okay.
Oh, did he not?
No, he didn't show up to training.
He's on the flight right now.
Actions speak louder than words.
Dude, right.
Sometimes. You don't know. Maybe his phone's off or something.
Just forgot he had practice. See the news? What news?
And so say that Man City transfer does happen, right? He goes to Man City. Say he gets a 3-year contract there. And if in those 3 years, because, I mean, they're going to have the best team in the world, right? They're already top 5, top 3 best teams. You add Messi in there, they're guaranteed number 1. I don't care what anyone says, right? If they do not win a Champions League in those 3 years that Messi's there, is it a failure for Man City?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like you have Messi. I mean, I don't want to. I know it's definitely going to be like, if they don't win, they're going to be like, Messi's not the problem. The team is. But you see how far we get. You know, you see the record that we got. We got back-to-back
Premier Leagues.
Yeah, like it's gonna happen, and mark my words. What's today? September 1st,
2020.
2020. I predicted that.
All right.
So when it doesn't happen,
because with De Bruyne, I'm just Sané left. That's okay, but De Bruyne in the midfield
And Messi.
up top.
okay.
It's gonna be crazy.
So can someone explain to me, because I haven't quite figured it out, didn't Man City just get banned while it was overturned?
Yeah.
Didn't they just get a ban from the Champions League? How in the world can you get a financial ban, right? Again, granted, it was overturned.
Listen,
And
I
then
can't
go pay
speak.
out
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what
don't know
goes
if
on
it's
in the
700
leagues.
million pounds?
I don't know.
Bro, what? How does that even make sense?
I'm just a fan.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know how it happened.
I don't know
Just make
how
it
it
happen.
happened,
Just
just-
make it
yeah.
happen.
Nice. Andrew, what do you think, man? Do you think it would be a failure if they don't win the Champions League with Messi in that team?
I do. I do. And I'm not sure who would get more of the blame, to be honest, because that's one of Messi's biggest critiques.
Yeah.
And I think he's hands down, one of the best players in the world, like top 2.
And he's not too. He's definitely not too.
Well, right now,
He's number
right
one.
now.
He's
okay,
number
you
one.
got to give it to Lewandowski. You got to give it to
Okay.
Lewandowski.
Okay, he had a better year.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
at this current
There were
state,
players that had better years than Michael Jordan, but he was still the best.
At this current state, but Messi, one of Messi's biggest critiques I always hear is that he hasn't done it anywhere else other than La Liga. He didn't quite do it internationally.
Uh-huh.
He's always
I
been.
mean, all he did was make it to 3 finals in a row, but okay.
Yeah, and
but didn't
nothing
bring back any.
major.
didn't
I
bring-
mean, well, you see how Ibrahimovic was like when he was at Man U. Like it was a lot. Like
Yeah.
everybody was like, Ibra's at Man U, easy, it's over, no competition. But they had, some problems. I
Yeah.
feel like Messi may run into problems with Manchester City. Maybe they won't connect right. They will. It's Messi. But I'm just saying, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
With the argument you just brought up, like, it's an argument I don't like because, he hasn't played in other leagues, but he's played in the Champions League. He's played theoretically the best teams of that league, and he's done well. So you think worse competition is he's not going to do well in?
Okay, well, let me take it to another sport then, real quick. I know this is a soccer thing, but top 3 basketball players of all time.
All right. Michael Jordan, Kobe. I don't know basketball that well, but probably LeBron.
Why didn't you say Allen Iverson?
I don't know.
Allen Iverson doesn't have any silverware. He doesn't have anything.
Right. And Messi has 34 trophies.
How do you know
But-
that? Oh, you're never mind. Never mind.
But
I'm gonna know that soon too.
But I think that's one of the biggest things, though. Like, he
6 Ballon d'Ors.
Oh my.
but not at an international level. And
Yeah, but he made a World Cup final. I get your point where if you don't win a World Cup, it's kind of like Cruyff. Like, no one's going to talk about Johan Cruyff, who made 2 finals with the Netherlands, but they didn't win anything.
But it's Messi. He's literally on.
He's
a
revolutionized
highlight every
everything.
week,
Yeah.
and he's been named the greatest player.
Of all time.
6
He's been
times.
goated by
Yeah.
a lot of people.
we say that
He's
now.
played like the best defenders. Like he's
And-
played
and-
like the best. Like thinking about how long he's been at Barca, which has been
Yeah.
the entire time.
Right.
He's been through so many teammates,
Yeah.
but also like rivals, like
And
enemies.
Yeah.
Like
this
people
is-
will like man mark him times 5, and
Oh,
he
for
still
sure.
scores.
Yeah.
For sure. And
Crazy goals.
And
Crazy.
that's right now, though. That's right now. I'm talking legacy.
Right.
Looking
It's
back
going to
at it.
be he's already the best for Barca
They're
ever.
like, dang, he did it at Manchester City too.
I think that's the thing. Like, if they do not win the Champions League, him and Pep are gonna get it, bro.
No, Pep's getting
That-
fired.
that's-
That's all that is. Think about it. It's not him.
Yeah.
And that's what
Which
I'm
I
saying.
understand,
That's what I'm
right?
saying.
Yeah.
That's the double-edged sword that he's getting if he
Yeah.
goes into that team,
Yeah.
right? Because if you don't win, it doesn't matter, right? Kind of like how people are flaming Neymar and Mbappe and PSG because they didn't win it.
Right.
If it would have been an ugly game and they would have won 1-0 on an own goal, nobody would have cared.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
But they didn't win it, right? So I think that's the same thing with Man City. If they don't win it, it doesn't matter how you do it. It matters that you win it,
Yeah.
right? Liverpool, that whole Champions League campaign last year, they played some great soccer. The final sucked. Them against Tottenham, it was. I almost fell asleep.
Oh man, that was.
But they still won it, and that's all everyone's gonna remember, right?
Yeah.
Right. They're gonna remember that silverware.
100%. Last parting thoughts, then, guys. Tell us
Already,
man.
What the?
I was having fun.
This is a great episode, actually. Last parting thoughts. What would be the number one advice? I like this question. What would be the number one advice that you would give a young, up and coming soccer player? Because I want people to have that perspective.
You can go first. I could talk for days on this.
2 words. Get up. Get up. So, as a goalie, you hear this so many times, but I heard it on the field too. I'll never forget it. The first time I really heard it and it resonated with me. It's my birthday. We had a game. I was playing on the right wing before, I got the golden gloves and everything like that.
What's up, Golden Gloves?
Right?
Well, you'll start your own podcast, Golden Gloves podcast.
Hey, don't tempt me, bro. I'll put you out of business. Just kidding. So, and their right back the left back had the ball. So my coach was yelling at me, "Go get him, go get him." And I knew it. I saw that look in the guy's eyes. He was gonna send this long. He was going with it long. He was gonna put everything he had behind it. But I kept hearing my coach, "Go get him, go get him." So sure enough, I went to go get him. Nailed in the face. In the face. Like left a hexagon on my face. On my birthday too. Ooh. So like I'm there, I'm stumbling, and like I hear my coach, get up, Andrew, don't drop, get up. And of course I hear my Hispanic mom too, get up, Andrew, don't you fall, Andrew. Andresito, get up, don't you, no calle, no, bro. And then, when you get chipped, when you get scored on, get up. When you don't make the save, get up. You take it to other positions. Any athlete, you're gonna mess up. You're gonna mess up.
Yeah.
You take it, you dust it off.
That's it. I think it's okay to fall as long as you get back up, right?
You have to.
Right? I mean, no one's perfect, right? So even if you go through situations, you have to get back up. That's good. I like that. What about you, Tito?
Good luck following that up.
Sweat over here. First off, I want to just say, I wouldn't be the player I would be today without my coach, Coach Mark, and Coach Pond, and all other coaches I've had. They're amazing coaches. Mm-hmm. But somebody that always, resonates like how I am as a person and how I was playing soccer was my mother. There wasn't, like, in college, she would come to the home games here and there, and she would always say, even in high school, even in club, no matter where I played, no matter what I was doing, she would look at me, and she'd be like, "Are you tired?" She would just yell it. She would say, "Are you tired?"
I think I heard that.
You probably have. She's screaming it. "Are
her?
you tired?"
Was that her?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm just like she know when I hear that, it just means like, why am I tired? Like, I'm not tired. You're right. I'm not tired. Like, I can't be tired because if I'm tired, I know that they're not tired. You have to be the best you out there on the field. And when it comes to being the best you, as long as you're the best you and you give it everything you've got,
that's all you can ask for.
That's all you can ask for. Mm-hmm. But never be satisfied, because when you're satisfied, you're good at where you're at.
That's good. That's great advice.
Yeah. So it was kind of like she would always say, "Are you tired?" Like if I put my hands on my knees and was like just trying to catch my breath, it was a silent ride home after that game. Like my mom was really like pressing down on me, especially when it came to like working hard. We come from a family that like we're all about hard working.
I love that.
Yeah. So she definitely
bred that mentality into you, huh?
So and I take that everywhere. Like everywhere I go, I make everything a competition. So it was kind of like just growing up and using that in soccer especially. And I want to say that for like kids that I had, like, so this past summer I was the Charlotte location manager for Corver Carolinas. And I ran, I held CSA locations with, like, their ECNL kids or, like, their top-tier kids, and then I held Charlotte Independence kids as well. And that's something I would always say to them, too. I'd say, "Are you tired? Why are you tired? Are you sure you're tired? Because if you're tired, that means you're satisfied with what you put in."
Wow. That's great advice, man.
Yo, hang on. Take a second. Show up your hands to the cameras while you were talking. I noticed that. Show the cameras. Look at that. You see those calluses, man? That's from a man who's
not tired.
He's not tired. He's not tired. That's a man who wasn't tired.
That's awesome.
And it totally
man.
shows, man.
That's good, man. I love that. I mean, no one understands the capabilities they have, right?
Exactly.
Right. A lot of things are in our minds. And, you know, I think that's what a coach does. It's kind of like an enzyme. They pull that extra out of you, right? And I love that.
Yeah.
So
you can get an amount of, like working out, you can get an amount of reps. You know, you have 10 in your mind. But if someone's counting for you and they keep telling you one more, you're not going to count how many times they're saying one more. You're just going to keep doing it.
I like that. That's cool, man. Awesome, man. Some great advice you guys gave. So thank you so much. This concludes episode 6 of the Golden Boots podcast. Andrew and Tito, the dynamic duo, thank you for coming on. You guys have a great night.
Total opposites of the field.
Come on, bro. You've never seen goalies pass it, kick it long, and the striker gets it and scores?
Now that you say that, you're right.